Most people believe fasting is just about skipping meals. They think nothing important happens until hunger becomes uncomfortable, that the body simply waits for food. But that belief is dangerously incomplete. Because the moment you stop eating, your body doesn't pause. It switches modes. Hidden systems begin activating. Hormones quietly shift. Fuel sources change. And within hours, your body enters a metabolic state that most people never experience in their entire lives. Not because it's extreme, but because modern eating habits never allow it to happen. During a 24-hour fast, your body does not shut down. It adapts. It reorganizes energy use, prioritizes survival over comfort. And here's the part most people don't realize. If you don't understand what's happening during this process, you can easily mistake normal biological signals for danger, or quit right before the most important changes begin. In this video, we're going to walk through exactly what happens inside your body during a 24-hour fast. Step by step, hour by hour. No hype, no internet myths, no exaggerated claims. Just physiology, metabolism, and science. If you're interested in clear, evidence-based explanations of health and metabolism, consider subscribing, so you don't miss future videos that break down complex topics without the noise. By the end of this video, you'll understand when fat burning actually begins, and why it's later than most people think. Why hunger comes in predictable waves, and why it often disappears when you expect it to get worse. What really happens to insulin, growth hormone, and metabolic rate. And why a 24-hour fast feels fundamentally different from shorter fasts, even if the calories look similar on paper. Let's begin. Before we talk about fasting, we need to clear up a critical misunderstanding. Hunger does not mean danger. In modern society, hunger has been reframed as an emergency, something to be avoided immediately. But biologically, hunger is simply a signal, not a threat. For most of human history, eating was not guaranteed. There were periods of abundance, periods of scarcity, long stretches where food simply wasn't available. The human body did not evolve expecting 3 meals per day, plus snacks. It evolved expecting gaps. And those gaps are exactly where fasting physiology lives. What fasting does is not stress the body. It reveals systems that are normally hidden behind constant eating. To understand what changes during a 24-hour fast, we first need to understand how the body behaves when food is always present. Most people today live in what scientists call a chronically fed state. That means blood sugar is frequently elevated. Insulin is rarely low. Fat burning is suppressed most of the day. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates, blood glucose rises. The pancreas releases insulin. Insulin signals the body to store energy. Insulin is not a fat-burning hormone. It is a storage hormone. As long as insulin is elevated, fat cells are locked. The stored energy is inaccessible. The body relies on incoming calories. This is not a flaw. It's how survival works when food is abundant. But here's the problem. When insulin is always elevated, the body never practices accessing stored fuel. Metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between fuel sources, declines. Fasting temporarily removes food so the body can relearn this skill. A 24-hour fast is long enough to force that transition. The fast begins after your final meal. But for the first few hours, very little appears to change. Food is still being digested. Nutrients are still entering the bloodstream. Insulin remains elevated. Internally, blood glucose is stable. The liver is full of glycogen. Fat burning is minimal. Psychologically, this is often the easiest part. Any hunger felt here is largely habitual, emotional, time-based. This is why people often confuse routine hunger with real energy need. The body is still running on external fuel. Around 4 to 6 hours after eating, digestion slows dramatically. Now the body must decide how to maintain blood sugar without incoming food. This is where liver glycogen becomes critical. The liver stores roughly 80 to 100 grams of glycogen. Its job is to release glucose into the bloodstream, keep the brain supplied with energy. As glycogen is used, insulin begins to fall. Fat breakdown increases slightly. A growth hormone starts to rise. This is the first real metabolic shift, but it's subtle. Most people still feel normal here. As liver glycogen continues to decline, the body enters a transition phase. Blood sugar remains stable, but only because stored fuel is being mobilized. This is where many people experience the noticeable wave of hunger, a mental fixation on food, a mild irritability. Here's the key insight. This hunger is hormonal, not dangerous. The hunger hormone ghrelin rises in predictable cycles, often aligned with your usual meal times. If you normally eat dinner at 7 p.m., ghrelin will rise around that time, even if your body has plenty of energy stored. If you wait, ghrelin falls again. This is why hunger often comes in waves, not a straight line. At this point, many people quit. They assume, this must be unhealthy. This means my body needs food. But in reality, the most important metabolic changes haven't even started yet. The real shift begins when glycogen runs low. Around the 12-hour mark, the body begins to rely more heavily on fat-derived fuel. Insulin is now low enough to unlock fat cells. Fatty acids are released into the bloodstream and transported to tissues for energy. At the same time, a growth hormone rises significantly. A muscle tissue is protected. Fat oxidation increases. This is why fasting does not automatically cause muscle loss. Growth hormone exists precisely to preserve lean tissue, support fat utilization, aid cellular repair. Many people report clearer thinking, reduced appetite, a calmer mental state. This happens because ketones suppress appetite. Blood sugar is stable. Ghrelin decreases. The body has successfully switched fuel systems. This is why quitting right before this point is so common and so unfortunate. It is not starvation. It is not muscle wasting. It is not metabolic damage. Starvation occurs when fat stores are depleted. Protein breakdown accelerates. Survival systems fail. A 24-hour fast does none of these in healthy individuals. It simply allows stored energy to be used. Fasting is not universal. Avoid unsupervised fasting if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, have a history of eating disorders, have uncontrolled diabetes, require food for medication safety. Fasting is a tool, not a requirement. Short fasts reduce calories. A 24-hour fast changes fuel hierarchy. That distinction matters. A 24-hour fast lowers insulin for extended periods, improves metabolic flexibility, increases fat oxidation, activates cellular efficiency mechanisms. It's not about willpower. It's about biology. The human body is not fragile. It is adaptive. When food disappears, the body doesn't panic, prepares. Understanding this changes how you experience hunger, fasting, and metabolism itself. If you found this explanation helpful and want more science-based breakdowns like this, consider subscribing.